Hi there, welcome once again, and this is the time for learning background blur. Nowadays, making your background blur, it's a trend. And if you want to make your blur background in your image, you can do it easily with some simple steps. Not only for trends, sometimes you may have some unwanted object or subject behind you on your image, or sometimes you may have some distracting element on your background, and therefore you want to make your background blur. So right now we are going to learn how you will make the background blur. So you can take a look. This is an image from our exercise file. A beautiful lady, she is sitting on sand, and we want to make this entire background blur, and we want to keep her transparent. So how it will look like, let me show you. Let me turn off this no blur layer, and you can take a look. All the background are blurred right now, and we have the transparent subject. So this is the process for making the background blur, and right now we are going to learn this entire process. So let's take a look. So at first we have to open our exercise file, and therefore we have to click the file menu, and from there we will go for open option. Okay, inside the exercise file you will get this blur and filters folder. So you just have to open it, and inside the blur and filters folder you will get this Joseph Unsplash image. So you just have to select it, and then you have to click open. Okay, this is our image. So let's start the process. We want to make this entire background blur, and we want to keep this beautiful lady transparent. Okay, so let's start the process. So at first we have to duplicate this background layer, and to duplicate the background layer you just have to right click with your mouse, and then you have to click on duplicate layer option. So let me click duplicate layer option, and I want to write layer mask. I'm writing layer mask because I will add a layer mask to this layer. So therefore I'm writing layer mask, and let me click OK. And we can take a look. We have the layer mask layer over here, and right now we have to make a selection. To make a selection we have to use the quick selection tool. So here is the quick selection tool, and please make sure you are using add selection form because we will make a selection. Okay, so let's start make the selection for her. Okay, we have a nice selection for the subject, and right now we have to add a layer mask. And you know, it's quite simple how to add a layer mask. You just have to click on this add a layer mask option. So let me click on this add a layer mask, and you can take a look. We have a layer mask over here, and if you turn off the background layer then you will have only the subject, and all the background will be removed. Let me show you. Let me turn off the background layer, and we can take a look. We only have the subject, and the background is removed from here. Okay, cool. So let me turn on this background layer, and right now we have to do the most important part, and that is we have to convert this layer into smart filters. So please make sure this layer mask layer is selected, and then we have to go for filter menu. This is the filter menu, and from there we have to go for convert for smart filter option. So let me click on this convert for smart filters option, and you just have to click OK. Okay, you can take a look. Our layer is converted into smart filter, and right now we will use the blur effect in here. But before that you have to make sure that the background layer is selected. Before starting the blur process you have to make sure that background layer is selected, and now we will go for blur effect. So to make the background blur, you just have to select the filter menu. Here is the filter menu, and from there you have to go for blur option, and from there you have to go for Gaussian blur option. So let me click on this Gaussian blur. So this is the pop-up for Gaussian blur, and here is the radius and pixels. So you have to increase the radius. If you increase the radius, then entire image will be blurred and we will have the transparent subject. So let's start the process. I want to increase the radius, and you can take a look. We have a slight blur background in here, and let's increase a little bit more. Okay, we have some more blur. Let's increase for more. And right now we have a heavy blur background, and you can take a look. The entire background is totally blurred and we have the subject transparent. But if you don't want to keep this 75 pixel for your radius, you can reduce the radius, and that's totally depend on your needs. So I want to put 30 pixel. Okay, I want to put 30 pixel, and right now we have the perfect blur background over here, and let me click OK. So let me click OK. Okay, cool. You can take a look. We have the perfect blur background, and this is the entire process, and I'm pretty sure you enjoyed this entire process. So see you in next lesson.